Americans are relying on credit to keep up with the continued pounding of inflation, with household debt reaching record levels. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York has released household debt figures for the third quarter, and it turns out the rate at which Americans are borrowing is accelerating amid relentless inflation pressures. In the second quarter of this year, household debt rose by a whopping $312 billion. But as stunning as that was, it appears that consumers are just getting warmed up. According to data compiled by the New York Fed, household debt jumped by another $351 billion in the third quarter. That's the biggest nominal quarterly increase since 2007, and it pushed total household debt to another record high, $16.5 trillion. Americans are fighting through the worst period of soaring prices since the 1970s Great Inflation, and they're doing it by driving up consumer debt balances to levels never before seen. A big jump in credit card balances accounted for a large part of the overall increase in household debt last quarter. Account balances soared 15% year over year, the biggest such increase in more than 20 years. The surge in credit card use as the economic climate becomes more uncertain has the New York Fed wondering out loud, what happens from here? The real test, of course, will be to follow whether these borrowers will be able to continue to make the payments on their credit cards. It's a good question. Delinquencies are beginning to rise, and it appears credit card balances are poised to keep rising. 40% of Americans say they'll be using some type of financing to help cover the cost of their holiday shopping. Also, as balances on existing accounts rise upward, the New York Fed confirms the application rate for new credit card accounts is climbing as well. A representative of Consumer Financial Services Company Lending Club notes that credit card debt is at an all-time high. Credit card rates are reaching all-time highs. Those who are struggling to pay their bills, they are almost saturating their credit card balances. There's more. We're learning that the balances on home equity lines of credit, or HELOCs, are also climbing. It's worth pointing out that HELOC activity is now at its highest level since 2007, the year that kicked off the beginning of the housing crash, which, in turn, triggered the 2008 financial crisis. Explaining why HELOCs are making a comeback, the regional president and senior loan officer at Hometown Lenders of Texas says, clients are saying they want a safety net as credit card bills rise along with unemployment fears. Apparently, they're so desperate for that safety net that they're willing to put their homes on the line to get it. How will this frantic use of debt ultimately come to an end? Consumers do not have unlimited resources. Credit cards have limits. Home equity has limits. Those limits may not have been reached yet. But the speed at which consumers are racing towards these limits suggests the possibility that this rapidly increasing use of credit may not end with a whimper, but instead with a loud and horrible bang. That's why I suggest you take this opportunity to learn more about what's going on in the economy by attending our one-on-one educational web conference at AugustaPreciousMetals.com/webconference.